Facebook renamed.
So what kind of metaverse is going to emerge depends on who you ask. But in the episode, I got to experience a couple of versions of the metaverse. And how was the experience? It's quite, I mean, obviously it's very interesting, it's very new, very novel to me. There's things like mixed reality, augmented reality, virtual reality. So I get to touch various different aspects of what could look like the metaverse in the future.
Interesting. And Sharifa, and kind of helping notice the stunning visuals from the short clips that you have shared with us. Last year, of course, your show was one of the finalists for Best Visual Effects at the Asian Academy Creative Awards. I mean, what other visual treats can we expect in your show this year?
Okay, yeah. So we are really honored to be recognized for our creative visuals. So this season, viewers can definitely expect visuals that are as arresting or even more, that thrills the mind and the eye. But of course, like we're also a docu-series, so we'll use those visuals to help viewers make sense of what's happening in our world now and also imagine what's just over the horizon, and more importantly, break down why it matters to us. We'll try to live up to our name of Best Infotainment Series, which is also another award that we picked up over the years. And yeah, you can catch all the seasons on CNA YouTube channel. Just search like YouTube, CNA, Why It Matters. You'll find a lot of nice visuals there.
Still ahead on Asia Now, we'll check the top stories, including the WHO urging Asia-Pacific countries to prepare for an Omicron-driven surge. And Malaysia detects its first Omicron case.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
I'm Claire Jedrick, fast car fanatic, but also a mum of two. That's made me think more about the world we're leaving behind for future generations. And so, I'm all for the Singapore Green Plan, including changing from petrol to electric cars. But for petrolheads like me, what would the shift be like? Come for a drive with me. Rock and roll. As I go from lusting after some electric beauties to finding out what it's like to own an EV.
It's just a motor and the battery.
And how the nation's switch to electric will change all our lives.
We're going to have cleaner air, we're going to have quieter streets.
But will I get the same thrill out of driving EVs? Oh my lord, this is ridiculously fast!
The Electric Race, premiering 6 December on CNA.
Aging population, falling birth rates, shrinking labor force, Japan's biggest challenges since World War II. I'm Michio Ishida, CNA, Tokyo.
This is Asia Now.
Hello there, it's 6 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 3:30 in New Delhi, and 5 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Telly Edwards. At this hour, the World Health Organization urges Asia-Pacific countries to step up measures and not just rely on border controls as they prepare for an Omicron-driven COVID-19 surge. Malaysia detects its first Omicron case, a foreign student from South Africa who entered the country 2 weeks ago. And one step forward, 2 steps back. South Korea reimposes COVID-19 restrictions. The World Health Organization has urged Asia-Pacific countries to prepare for a surge in COVID-19 cases led by the Omicron variant. It says governments should focus on boosting their healthcare capacity instead of relying on border controls.
COVID-19 has now spread all over the world, and we should not be surprised to see more surges in the future. As long as transmission continues, the virus can continue to mutate as the emergence of Omicron demonstrates, reminding us of the need to stay vigilant.
The WHO has also urged countries to fully vaccinate vulnerable groups. It says preventive measures like mask wearing and social distancing rules should also be in place. Omicron has started gaining a foothold in Asia this week. Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, India, and Australia have reported cases of the variant. Globally, more than 20 countries have detected Omicron cases. Many have quickly responded by tightening travel rules, despite the United Nations warning that such measures are unfair and ineffective.
Continuously calibrating combination of tools and actions based on the risk in each local settings as they evolve over time. This is what we need to be doing in response to Omicron based on what we know now.
Malaysia has detected its first case of the Omicron variant. Health Minister Kari Jamaluddin says the patient is a foreign student from South Africa. She had arrived in Malaysia 2 weeks ago via Singapore and tested positive for COVID-19 1 day later. The 19-year-old was asymptomatic and had been vaccinated. She had quarantined for 10 days before she was released. The Omicron case was uncovered after authorities retested earlier positive samples after the WHO announced Omicron as a variant of concern. Authorities have asked the student and 8 close contacts to undergo further testing.
We can contain whether it is Omicron